Morning, everybody. My name is Ishmael Whitley. As I was saying, I'll be talking about life as an Army soldier. Um, every soldier has a story. I'm going to tell you mine. I originated from Virginia. I'm originated from Virginia. My parents were both married. Um, my parents are both married. They divorced when I was 3 years old. I lived with my mom since then. Um, I graduated in 1999. I wanted to be in the Air Force. That was my first passion. I graduated in 99 and Air Force was my way to go. They had me on the delayed entry program. In 2002, well, 2002, that was 9/11 came around and a lot of people wanted to join the military. And at the time, there was jobs that was booked up. At that time in the Air Force, my job was booked up. I couldn't get in. So at that time, I was working at an aluminum siding company. I was delivering aluminum siding and my boss found out that I wanted to join the military, so he fired me. Yeah. It's pretty rough. That was my job right there. I was a teen, fresh out of high school. So I was a worker. Like I went to school, that wasn't for me. So I had to make a decision. I couldn't go in the Air Force, so I said, let's try the Army. Went to the Army. Uh, went to the Army. Next slide. I joined the Army February 21st, 2002. Next slide. Oh, is it working?
Yeah, it works.
Okay. I started basic training in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Anybody know anything about basic training? Being in South Carolina, you're outside in the heat, in the humid. You do things, definitely running. You're gonna do a lot of running, a lot of weapon training. Pugil sticks. Anybody watch American Gladiator? That's what it is. You knocking your buddy out. Next. After basic training, you go to AIT training. That's advanced individual training. I did that at Fort Lee. My job was at 92 Fox at the time. Well, 77 Fox, sorry. It changed to 92 Fox. That's a petroleum specialist. That's either truck driving, a big fuel truck, or working on a pipeline, or doing aviation fuel. I did every one. So as a fueler, you have to drive trucks. You have to go to driver's training. Driver's training is in Fort Leonard. It's a 9-week course. It's very scary, brother. I can tell you, it's sometimes where you're riding with blackout drive. The light is small as a pin, and you ride on a dust trail. When you ride on a trail, you see crosses from other soldiers that didn't make it. It's one of the most gut-wrenching things you had to go through, other than being deployed. Made it through that. Next was my duty station. Well, excuse me. Next, my duty station was Fort Bragg. But long going Fort Bragg, you go through a few things. You go through the ranks of private, private, excuse me, private two, PFC, and specialist, and then corporal if you're doing really great and can't make the points. But I went to E5. This was my promotion ceremony, and a part of being a non-commissioned officer, you have to go to non-commissioned officer course. It's a course where they teach you how to be a leader. They teach you skills about being a soldier, how to train your troops in situations, stuff like that. These are some of my duty stations around the world. Fort Bragg, like I said, I went to Camp Hovey, Korea. I went there for 6 months. During that 6 months, I got deployed. I got orders coming there. My third duty station was Fort Carson here. My fourth duty station was Fort Lee. I went back home for a little bit. And my last was Fort Bliss. I've been on 3 deployments. My longest deployment was 16 months. My hardest deployment was Aramati. It was 12 months, but in my first, I'd say 3 months, we lost about 100 people. One of the hardest things was just walking to the chow hall, getting something to eat. For the first 3 months, 4 months, I didn't even go to the chow hall because every time we came back, somebody didn't make it. I ate off ramen noodles and you name it. Anything somebody could send to me in a care package. Deployments, deployment is really tough on a family. It pulls you away from your family, pulls away from your kids. But just for the soldier, you have to deal with the heat. You have to deal with your missing your family, trying to be a provider, and at the same time trying to be mentally focused on the war. That takes a strain on your body. These are some more pictures from my deployments. As I say, it's a fueler. You're on the road 24/7. This one of the vehicles called a PLS. I was in a quick reaction force team, QRF, where if somebody pushed the button, we had to go outside the wire. If something was going on, we had to go outside the wire, and we drove a big tank. All of us drove this tank. The last thing me with this, I did 12 years in the military, and doing one of my tours, I can't remember tell you when, I put blood clots to the lungs and got medically retired after 12 years. It was one of the hardest transitions I had to do. I just want to say, you know, most veterans in my era had to deal with being put out when they wanted to be in the military. I want to do 20 years. And one of the hardest things is just something you love and taken away from you to put out and say, hey, figure it out. So that's what a lot of guys have done with it. I was one of the struggles. And in that struggle, I found businesses. One was landscaping. Now I'm doing custom woodworking. That brings most pleasure. I can help people out and do the best. So, this is my boys from getting medically retired. Barack Obama signed the paperwork for me. Thank you for listening to my story.